Equinox, baby! The summer X-Pack is here, or at least the details for it anyway. By the end of this video, you're gonna know how to profit off of all of the new stuff being added to the game, and you can prepare for that right now. So if you want the best EVE Online guides, you came to the right place. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Loru here, digital advertiser, content creator, and EVE enjoyer for the better part of 10 years now, and Equinox looks quite interesting. Now, the expansion is dropping June 11th. Mark your calendars. We're going to cover all the new things as it's released, so make sure you subscribe for that. Did they do a great job on this trailer or what? Hey, hats off to you, CCP. Equinox is beautiful. And speaking of beauty, let's start with the new structures that we've got coming out. We have an Orbital Skyhook that gives us access to brand new PI materials, a brand new moon drill that's going to automate moon mining in low and null-sec space, and a sovereignty hub, which is going to replace the infrastructure and territorial claim unit items. Let's work backwards, shall we? Now, the sovereignty hub is this PS4 looking structure, and it is going to give upgradable options depending on the star system's topology and the planets within. Now, if you live in null-sec, I know your eyes went real wide just now. It goes on to say certain upgrades allow the discovery of previously undetectable ore and the detection of most impactful pirate targets and more. So practically speaking, you're going to get more mining and pirate hub options on your probe scanner, but only if your alliance controls most of the area that you're living in. That is what sovereignty means. That's the sovereignty system inside of EVE Online. Before Equinox, you had to deploy this territorial claim unit in order to get sovereignty of that area. The sovereignty hub is going to be replacing that, so I assume when you place this, that's how you get the old sovereignty going. And instead of just getting sovereignty, you get access to these brand new content types. But the key difference here is that the different activities are unlocked depending on the system's topology and the planets they're in. Now, this is super intriguing because it means not all null blocks are going to be built the same. The big alliances are probably going to be hunting around for the best spots to put the sovereignty hub to unlock their preferred kind of targets. Already really cool stuff. Now, the new moon drill is said to be a source of passive income for the null blocks instead of actually having to mine this moon ore out. Now, why is moon mining getting this treatment? Well, all the structures in EVE Online need fuel blocks to operate, and these fuel blocks are crafted with the materials you get from mining moon ore. So the sovereign null blocks spend a lot of time mining for this kind of stuff. So automating this is going to give them more time to go out, go find some content, get into fights, more wars, bigger stuff. You're not going to have everybody stuck sitting on the moon rocks, just mining away just to upkeep their own structures. This is going to free up so much more time for your corp and alliance if you're in those areas. Now, you're still going to need your Rorqual fleets with your hulks to mine all that dirty ore, but the pristine ice can now be handled by your brand new ChatGPT automated AI companion. And finally, the big one, the Orbital Skyhook. I'm most excited for this one. I love the idea of a Skyhook inside of EVE Online. Now, the announcement notes say that the Skyhook is going to be central to the new Equinox expansion. This makes me think that much, if not all, of the brand new structures, minus the Skyhook itself, are going to be crafted via the new materials that the Skyhook unlocks. More on that later. Even placing one of these already changes the game. Once you place it, they bring new content in the form of pirate orbital blockades, a brand new NPC encounter type, where you're going to get officer-level enemies, read lots of money, pirate dreadnoughts, and even titans. A very dangerous structure. You better be ready to fight once you place this down from players and NPCs alike. And I think that's the point here. This feels a lot like Null-Sec Tech 2. And in order to really make sure that your corp or your alliance are ready for these things, you have to first pass this test. Yes, fight the pirate dreadnoughts and titans to get access to more increased wealth for your alliance. At least that's how I see it anyway. And speaking of T2, what the Skyhook lets you gather very much reads like T2 Tech 2 planetary industry. And don't worry, none of this is going to make your current PI setups obsolete. You can still go watch all of our guides and go get space rich and high sec and beyond. None of that is going away. The Skyhook does let us gather 3 new types of materials. Power, which is only from suns and plasma and storm planets. Listen, as somebody that just moved to Pochman, please don't ruin your entire nullsec areas. We do not need y'all sucking up your sun's star killer base style. The second one is workforce force, which you can gather from temperate, oceanic, and barren worlds. Just be sure when you harvest your new replicants, you name your corp Wallace or something of that nature. Cells within cells interlinked. And finally, we do have the reagents, which are only gotten from ice and lava planets. And the smart capsuleers among you are reading this and saying, oh, I'm going to need 3 skyhooks, 1 for each kind. So good luck defending 3 orbital skyhooks from pirate dreads, titans, and players. And all to get some good old-fashioned Tech 2 PI goodies. Now, this is all extremely interesting. I think this is a really cool addition to the nullsec area of space. Now, the bulk of the structure updates are only coming to nullsec. The skyhook is just nullsec. The sovereign space hub is obviously just nullsec. It's only for sovereign null space. The ice mining drill is going to be in low sec as well. So make sure if you're in the pirate area of Eves, you look out for this good old-fashioned automated moon drill. Now, the new ships are actually specialized for this new form of planetary industry. But before I showcase those to y'all, I want you to stay ahead of the curve. If y'all are watching this going, Loru, I do not have a PI setup ready to go. I want to get ready for the expansion, but I just don't have time. That's okay. I've got you covered. Yes, as of right now, today, there's a brand new pack on the Marquee Dragon store, and you can get it for even cheaper if you use code Loru at checkout. Now, not only can you go around space absolutely in style. Seriously, y'all, I saw these suits and I was like, oh, there goes the neighborhood. Time to make all my alts look real sharp. You're going to get a hauler operator expert system, which is going to let you pilot all 12 of the Empire haulers. It's also going to give you access to some trade skills so you sell your stuff for a little bit more expensive. You're going to get some skill points so you can train into all the PI skills that you need, and you're going to get 2100 plex so you can buy all the skills and ships and all the ammo you would ever need to get into planetary industry. Now, typically 2100 plex by itself is going to be 88 bucks. So already this is a deal when it's only 72 bones, and then you get to use my code at checkout to get it for even cheaper. All you got to do is press add to cart, scroll back on up, press checkout, and then right here you're going to go LORU, press apply. It's that easy. You get your discount. Now, I know it's not a lot of percentage. You get 3% off, but hear me, the same items you're already going to buy in the NES store, I give you for cheaper if you use my code. Now, I'm an affiliate, so I do get a kickback, but literally everybody wins. You get it for cheaper, I get a little bit of kickback, Marquee gets stuff, EVE Online definitely gets the lion's share. Everybody wins. Now, my code is not just for sales. You can use it anytime y'all buy your EVE Online items. So anytime y'all are buying skill points, Omega, if all of you watching this use my code Loru, when you buy Omega, we can do even more dope stuff for the community and brand. I take all the funds and pour them back into the Loru brand itself. So about these new ships. Now, these are classified as Upwell ships. That means that inside of the ship tree itself, I do believe we're going to get a new section right about here that's going to say Upwell. This also means that we're probably going to have new skill books for those new ships. Now, each one of these is classified as a hauling ship with missile combat capability. You know, that face when the hauler bites back? I guess that's not a joke anymore. The Squall is an entry-level reagent-focused hauler. I read this and see that it's probably something like the Epithal, something that everybody can get into pretty effectively. The Deluge is going to be a blockade runner, something that's slippery and cloaky and can fit a covert ops cloak. The Torrent is a deep space transport. This is one of those flying rocks in space. Super tough to kill and also has the mobility of the micro jump drive. This is literally going to fly like my Occator. This is going to fly like my Viator. Look for my video guides on both of these ships. It's going to be awesome, y'all. And finally, we have the Avalanche, which is going to be a freighter with a huge reagent hauling capacity. Now, I read this one as something like the Bowhead that has a lot of storage, but even more storage for its specific material. And all of these say reagent specific. Now, I think this might be able to hold general planetary industry mats. If that's the case, these are going to become the new staple for PI no matter where you're flying. But if they only hold reagents, I suspect they're going to still hold some PI in a separate cargo hold. We'll see how big those are. These might end up only being used in null if it's just for reagents, and will be used abroad if it's got PI focused stuff and reagents. Now, what's super intriguing to me and something I can't wait to get my hands on is what is the combat capability of these? Is it kind of like a gimmick, or do I still need my Proteus cloaks like right next to it whenever I'm doing my PI just in case somebody tries to jump on me? We'll have to see what the future brings. When that comes out, we'll be sure to make a guide on it. Now, don't let all this distract you from the fact that you are also getting your own customizable skins inside of EVE Online that you can create. And indeed, you can even buy and sell these skins in EVE. With Equinox, the Skinner system is being improved. Not just usable on structures, but also usable on ships. Look at this abomination. CCP, you really couldn't pick a different skin? You had to pick one that's pink and flashy, so that way I pay attention to it. Oh my god, that's actually really smart. CCP are better marketers than me? Confirmed, confirmed. Now you're going to be able to make these skins with different nano coatings, patterns, a bunch of customization slots, so you can choose what kind of skin you want to use on the go. Not to mention a bunch of different colors. Now you're going to be able to take these skins and sequence them. This is going to allow you to sell your skins to other pilots, but there is an initial cost to sequence the skin, and it looks like that's going to cost you Plex. Now I actually kind of like this. It means that not everybody is going to be able to do this, and only those willing to spend their hard-earned Plex will be able to put their skins on the market. And the starting cost is going to be calculated based on the rarity of the design elements and complexity of the skin. So the rarer the material or the coating or whatever of the skin, and how hard it is to get those materials, means the base cost of the sequence will go up. There's going to be the common skin, but there's also going to be that one really awesome rare skin that's a bunch of Plex that you know is hard to get, that people are going to see and go, I gotta have that, man. This means you could potentially omega your account by getting these patterns, color, shapes, farming them up in order to sell them for Plex and ISK. That is confirmed. You can sell these for both Plex and ISK. Now, how you get all these different materials and such is going to be through the Paragon Hub. And y'all, if you're like me and you've been stockpiling your Evermarks, you read this and a big old grin hit your face, baby. My ships are going to look incredible. Thank you very much. You can also sequence your skins for your Corp and Alliance, meaning now we're not just going to fleet up and roll out as a squad. We're gonna match. The boys and the girls are all gonna have the same threads on. We're gonna roll up on those people looking nice and sharp. We're also getting an upgrade to the collection. This is gonna let us see our skins and the various components of those skins and the emblems way easier and let us apply from that collection. Now, y'all, this whole thing again reads like it's transmogs from World of Warcraft. You're gonna be able to see your skins, get your skins, farm your skins way easier. All around a great change to EVE. It's gonna let you personalize your ship. Much needed and a big step forward for the personalization of your character inside of EVE Online. What should the Loru Gaming paint job be? Let me cook, y'all. You'll see. Now, with all this content, how the heck do you make ISK out of this? Well, working backwards, you can save your Evermarks so that when this drops, you can buy a lot of the bigger, more expensive materials, colors, whatever. This way you can maximize the chance you're going to turn your Evermarks into Plex or ISK. I would be sure to go get your PI command centers and skill books right now. Like, I wouldn't wait, because with all this PI focused stuff coming out, I think the prices of those are going to go up. Maybe even buy some books yourself so that you can resell them in the market for a little bit more expensive. We're most likely going to have to craft these new ships. So if you're an industry pilot, maybe stockpile a bunch of materials in preparation so that you're one of the first to make some of these ships. Finally, the new structures are almost certainly to use the items that are currently in-game that are used to make structures. So make a bunch of those and get ready to sell them off for a premium when this drops, and every single null block is going to be wanting all those items. This is just a good lesson in supply and demand, y'all. Get a bunch of supply for when the demand hits, and get space rich. And a bunch of these are crafted through planetary industry. So if I were you, I would get your PI bases up and running. You can speed it up and supercharge that by going to the Marquee store and using code Loru. Make sure you get everything for cheap. And once you do that, you can head to our PI guide, full guides for you. We're starting in high sec and moving into more dangerous areas. You'll see, y'all, it's going to be fantastic. Definitely be sure to sub for all the new EVE Online guides coming out. Thanks very much, y'all. Looking real forward to Equinox. See you soon.